Welcome to The Know, I'm Ashley Jenkins.
And I'm Gus Sorola.
Every time we think a new fan project is finally the chosen one, the Sith Lords just find a way to call down their legal team and wipe it out.
That's exactly what happened to Galaxy in Turmoil, the fan-made resurrection of Battlefront 3, which has just announced that it's been wiped out by the Electronic Arts.
No one saw that coming at all, ever.
A little bit of a background, Galaxy in Turmoil is a project cobbling together the remains of the long-lost Star Wars Battlefront 3, which was scrapped because of a management change at LucasArts.
Battlefront 3 was a work-in-progress sequel to the popular Battlefront series by Free Radical and was shelved at a point where it was practically finished. Various team members eventually formed up under the name Frontwire Studios and created Galaxy in Turmoil to carry that game's torch.
They wanted to bring some pretty cool features that were missing in EA's most recent Battlefront outing, including ground and space combat, and even more massive 64-player battles, destructible capital ships, and a full-fledged single-player campaign.
Since it started getting more public attention, many of the game's fans figured it was only a matter of time before Disney or EA just blasted it out of the sky Death Star style, especially once it was announced that Galaxy in Turmoil would be heading to Steam.
Yeah, you know, companies generally don't take too kindly to their active properties being recreated and distributed by fans.
No, they don't, which is why Galaxy in Turmoil has now been shut down. The shutdown was announced via Frontwire's blog in a post by President Tony Romanelli titled The Future of Galaxy in Turmoil.
Just doing very short blog entry. There is the future. There is none.
It's super long, actually. It's really long. I was reading it. It is like wall of text style.
Wow.
It's basically a novel.
Well, apparently, in the post, Romanelli wrote, on Wednesday, June 22nd, 2016, we received a letter from Lucasfilm requesting that we halt production of Galaxy in Turmoil with any Star Wars-related IP at once.
While most of the stories we hear about derivative fan content stop right there, this one actually goes a little bit further. Desperate to work out a solution and come to some type of common ground, Romanelli sought a meeting with Lucasfilm, and to his surprise, they actually agreed, which is pretty freaking cool.
Yeah, and according to him, the meeting actually went pretty well, all things considered. Lucasfilm appreciated the effort Frontwire put into Galaxy in Turmoil and was even prepared to work out some sort of agreement about the game's future, and it would have if not for EA, who put a halt on all discussions.
According to Romanelli, Lucasfilm informed me that although they would have been open to the idea of negotiating a license for Frontwire to work on the Star Wars IP, that they are not able to due to their contract with Electronic Arts. I was told that Lucasfilm had already spoken with EA about Galaxy in Turmoil and that EA expressed no desire in letting our project continue.
Sounds kind of like a good cop, bad cop thing. I'd love to help you guys, but the guy who's not here, they're not letting me.
Who thinks that EA would have said yes? We have no idea how much they paid for the Star Wars game license, but in what world would they be like, yeah, it's cool, you go ahead and you make that Battlefront game. I'm sure it won't be confused with our Battlefront 2 in any way.
Romanelli went on to say that the main reason given by Electronic Arts was, obviously, because they didn't want attention to be taken away from their own Battlefront video games.
So surprised. Apparently, Romanelli also tried to pitch the game for release behind EA's paywall, allowing them to make money from it. Remember, Frontwire intended to release it for free, but EA didn't even bite on that.
Since Lucasfilm was contractually obligated to EA for an exclusive Star Wars license, they were forced to say no, or they were just being nice and wanted to throw EA under the bus.
I'm gonna go with that one. It's really easy to be like, just here, go. I mean, if these guys would have been cool with it, when you know that they wouldn't have been. Honestly, for Romanelli's part, he and the rest of Frontwire, fortunately, don't hold any ill feelings for EA for the decision. They get it.
Yeah. This isn't the first time Galaxy in Turmoil has landed in the middle of a legal dust-up. Last month, the company announced a partnership with Valve to bring the game to Steam.
At that time, they got quite a bit of ridicule and criticism over the announcement, mostly because they accidentally indicated that Valve was going to support them legally should Disney and EA get lawyers involved. They also made it seem like Valve didn't care if EA came after them.
After that announcement, Frontwire had to do quite a bit of damage control, mostly blaming the media for misconstruing their comments.
As for their legal defense, Frontwire has always maintained that their game falls under fair use because they consider it a parody of Battlefront, which is just a little bit off the mark, according to some legal experts.
Famed video game lawyer Ryan Morrison had some pretty strong words about their legal argument last month, saying, "It actually infuriates me."
I like that guy. In a quote to Game Informer about the game, Morrison stated, "It doesn't take more than a 5-second Google search to see this game has nothing to do with parody law. And if you further examine fair use, you will see it is a defense, not a right."
So where does Galaxy in Turmoil go from here? Well, in a sense, it's turning into the video game equivalent of becoming a Force ghost. According to Romanelli, Lucasfilm had no problem with Frontwire releasing a Battlefront-inspired game, so long as it had no connection to the Star Wars IP.
Which is what they're gonna do. Romanelli wrote, "Going forward, Frontwire Studios will be pivoting away from Star Wars and embarking on a mission to create a new original game in a never-before-seen universe. Far, far away.
It'll still have all the same goodies it had before, along with their assets. They'll just have to remix it so it's not overtly from Star Wars. And considering they had AT-ATs and X-Wings in there, that probably means they got a considerable amount of work ahead of them.
No, they just become large mech walkers and
It's
stuff.
BT-BTs and Q-Wings.
Yeah, naturally, fans are turning their rage toward EA, who seem to be solely responsible for the decision to keep the unofficial Battlefront 3 from ever seeing the light of day. However, Romanelli is encouraging fans not to be angry at them and says he doesn't blame them for their decision either.
And really, their hand was sort of forced on the matter, considering how much money EA probably paid for the Star Wars license in the first place. It's no surprise they weren't keen on giving it to another developer, no matter how big or small, for free.
Yeah, others will say that they could have just put it behind the paywall for Battlefront on Origins, but there's a level of quality that you're trying to maintain if you're EA, and you are not going to entrust an enormous IP like that to just anybody.
Star Wars is on a bit of a different scale than something like Just Cause 2, which is why somebody like Avalanche can take a chance on Just Cause 2 multiplayer guys having free reign.
Really, more developers are like EA or Konami or Nintendo or the Pokemon Company or just about anybody who's had to shut down fan projects like this one in the past. They've got an IP to protect, and in the case of Star Wars, it's a very expensive IP to protect, and they're not going to risk anybody causing confusion over their products.
This is why you don't make a big fuss about your IP infringing fan projects, everybody. Just heads up. Start creating a lot of noise about your game, and somebody's lawyer is going to hit you with a cease and desist.
Yeah, sorry, you're absolutely going to get stepped on. Companies have to protect their IP, and it doesn't cost them anything to send you a cease and desist.
So what do you guys think about Galaxy and Turmoil getting shut down by EA? Let us know in the comments.
And for future updates on fan projects going belly up, like this video and subscribe to The Know.
I'm gonna go belly up to the bar.
Yeah. What bar? Is there a bar? Is it a cantina?